You're in the supermarket, scanning the QR code on your favorite coffee. You can see where the coffee beans were grown, cleaned, tri-aged, processed, and finally roasted. What if you could track supply and distribution to find out how it was delivered, how long it took to arrive at the store, and so on? Is there a solution that can assist you record data at each step and making it transparently available to everyone? Welcome to the blockchain world. Today we're going to talk about blockchain. We're going to talk about it because we need to establish a common language for this issue across business and technology. According to Einstein, if you cannot explain it simply, you do not understand it well enough. The goal today is to explain it simply so everyone understands it well enough. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell to be notified whenever a new video like this is released. Defining the blockchain technology. It is a distributed ledger technology, which is a sort of accounting system in which a ledger is distributed over a network of computers. It's a record of transactions. As a result, blockchain technology is fundamentally a record-keeping tool. The blockchain is managed by this network of computers without any structure. Blockchain networks are commonly referred to as peer-to-peer networks because of their flat architecture. First, these computers check each transaction individually before adding them to a block of data. These blocks are then uploaded to a blockchain and downloaded to each machine. In a nutshell, this is how the blockchain is kept secure and operational. Bitcoin versus blockchain confusion. Okay, so the first thing that we need to understand is that there are two basic terms, Bitcoin and blockchain. Bitcoin is a digital coin. It's money that is digital. We are not going to go any deeper into Bitcoin in this video. Many individuals frequently mix up blockchain and Bitcoin. The fact that Bitcoin was the first well-known application of blockchain technology is the key source of misconception. As a result, it was successful in persuading people to believe that Bitcoin is the foundation of all blockchain technology. The larger benefits of blockchain, on the other hand, have recently received notice. Blockchain's capabilities for meeting the needs of businesses in many industries have gradually developed. So let's examine the differences between blockchain and Bitcoin to gain a better understanding of their consequences. Blockchain is the technology that enables moving digital coins or assets from one individual to another individual. It's very important to understand that Bitcoin is not a blockchain. Bitcoins have no central bank or administrative body, allowing transactions between users on a peer-to-peer Bitcoin network to take place without the use of intermediaries. Every cryptocurrency alternative is built on blockchain technology. Blockchain, on the other hand, is not confined to Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. Blockchain has a wide range of applications in several industries. Let's further break it down. Blockchain is referred to as a chain of blocks. Everything is recorded in chronological sequence. Thus, it's called a chain. Because the transactions are added to a chain in groups rather than individually, they are called blocks. Block. Each block, like a page in a record book, stores several transactions. From blockchain to blockchain, the number of transactions per block varies. Each block on the Bitcoin blockchain, for example, can carry up to 1 megabyte of data. The chain. Hashes, sequences of numbers and letters, are used to record these transactions. Each transaction hash is created using information from both current and previous transactions. The order of hashes cannot be modified as a result of this chain effect. As a result, once the transaction is added, it cannot be changed. Before being uploaded to the blockchain, all transactions must be validated. This is accomplished using a consensus process, which allows all network nodes to agree on things without the need of a central authority. This is how blockchains stay decentralized and autonomous. So after we understood the basic terms of Bitcoin and blockchain, it's time to go into the problems a blockchain attempts to solve. And that problem is money transfer. So today, if a person A wants to move money or transfer money to person B, let's say from England to Canada, this is typically done using a third trusted party, and it typically works as follows. First of all, they say, I want to transfer money to B, and there is a third party to transfer money to B. The trusted party, because it is trusted, identified B in Canada as a person's bank account and then moves the money after taking something to right account in Japan. This typically takes 3 days or more, but it takes time. What blockchain is attempting to solve is first to transfer the money without the use of a trusted entity as a medium, allowing people to communicate with one another. Second, to do it in less than 3 days, if not immediately. And third, to do it for less than the fee that the third party charges. How does Bitcoin fit into all this? Satoshi Nakamoto presented Bitcoin to the world in 2009. His goal was to build a peer-to-peer payment network that would eliminate the need for third-party verification. People could only trade money digitally through a bank, exchange, or internet services before Bitcoin. These are only a few examples of third parties who have access to our data, money, and transaction records. Satoshi proposed using blocks connected in a chronological and permanent chain to tackle this problem. This eliminated the problem of double spending and allowed people to trade money with confidence that their transactions were safe and irreversible. As a result, we now have blockchain technology. So let's dive into how blockchain addresses this money transfer problem. How is a transaction recorded in a blockchain? Blockchain miners use specialized blockchain mining software to connect securely with one another. When a computer runs the software, connects to the network, and starts mining, it is referred to as a node. Any transactions such as real estate transactions, in which person A sells a property to person B for X amount, or food produced on a farm, transported through the supply chain, and finally consumed by the consumer, can be recorded using blockchain. Phase 1. The transaction is digitally signed by the sender or originator. Digital signatures are key components of blockchains. They are primarily used to verify transaction legitimacy. The data and the private key are used by the transaction sender to encrypt the message. Dan must digitally sign the transaction using his private key and the transaction data and send it to network nodes if he wishes to transact with Matt. Phase 2. Transaction is broadcasted to the network. After a transaction is sent to the network, it is verified by all of the online blockchain nodes. Phase 3. The transaction is authenticated by nodes. Knowing Dan's public key allows you to verify the transaction's legitimacy. The transaction will be authenticated using Dan's public key, transaction, and digitally signed transaction. Phase 4. The mempool stores valid transactions. The mempool contains all valid transactions that are awaiting network confirmations. Miners collect transactions from the mempool and combine them to a block. Phase 5. To add the block, miners use consensus to validate it. To encrypt the data in a new block and add it to the blockchain, a computational challenge must be overcome. Miners attempt to solve the difficult mathematical problem by extracting permitted transactions from the mempool. Miners find the nonce so that the hash of the block is less than or equal to the blockchain's network's current target, known as proof of work or POW. To contribute a new block to the chain, miners must solve complicated mathematical problems to validate and confirm transactions throughout the network utilizing consensus processes. Proof of work makes blockchain safe since any change to the blocks necessitates the adjustment of the following blocks, which is incredibly difficult. The first miner to answer the cryptographic challenge then uses the gossip protocol to broadcast the newly created block. A block of transactions is added to the blockchain network once it has been confirmed. The first miner to solve each cryptographic block is issued a reward. Let's take a look at proof of stake or POS. Miners need a lot of energy to come up with a hash for the block that is less than or equal to the target for the blockchain network in a distributed consensus based on proof of work or POW. The proof of stake creator for the next block, on the other hand, is determined deterministically based on the stake in the blockchain. The proof of stake method is a low energy alternative to the proof of work method. Instead of miners in POW, validators hold the stakes and are responsible for maintaining the public ledger in POS. These are the types of blockchain we have. Number 1, the public blockchain. Public blockchains are completely distributed ledgers that are non-restrictive, transparent, and permissionless. The blockchain and the transactions recorded on the blockchain are not controlled by any single person or entity. A public blockchain allows everyone to see the transactions. A consensus algorithm is used to add transactions to the blockchain. Examples are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, etc. Number 2, private blockchain. Users must be granted permission to join a private blockchain, which is centralized and limiting. Utilize a closed network. Enterprises use it to store sensitive business data that should not be outside the firm. Transactions are private, and only authorized users in the closed network have access to them. Examples are business-to-business, virtual currency exchange network Ripple, and Hyperledger. Number 3. Hybrid blockchain. A hybrid blockchain combines the advantages of both private and public blockchains. Combines the private blockchain's permissioned features with the security and transparency of a public blockchain. Access-driven control determines which users are allowed to see or add data to the blockchain. Designed for enterprises, giving them the flexibility they need to operate safely and transparently. The IBM Food Trust is a good example of a supply chain that employs a hybrid blockchain. They aim to boost efficiency across the entire food supply chain. Let's try to sum up what we've learned so far. We attempted to explain how blockchain works and discovered that blockchain is not the same as Bitcoin. We discovered that Bitcoin is founded on the core ideas of an open and public ledger that allows everyone to observe and validate transactions, as well as the fact that the ledger is distributed and essentially resides in many nodes on the network, reducing the need for a third party. We learned about miners, which are special nodes in the network tasked with validating transactions and adding them to the ledger. We only touched on the fact that the economic incentive of miners largely ensures that jointly they agree on the official ledger that should be used by everyone. We need to remember, and I ask you to remember, that this explanation is very simplistic. It only covers the concepts and ideas behind blockchain. The implementation itself is much more detailed and complex. Probably answers a lot of questions that you already have. If you have any questions for us, please leave them in the comment section below. Also, if you're watching this video on YouTube and like it, don't forget to hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the bells to be notified when new videos are available. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.